What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to add this piece of advice. I can't believe I didn't even think to tell you guys this before. Probably, honestly, top 10, top 5 piece of advice I could give you is with any great change, with any good habit that you want to develop, anything along those lines, one day at a time is probably the best advice anybody who's ever done it would give you. So instead of saying to yourself something like, even though this is the ultimate goal, instead of saying something like, from now on, like I'm gonna quit weed and blah blah blah, and the goal is basically only thinking of every day, all the days onwards. Focus on today. Just think about today only. I mean, of course, your ultimate goal is to to quit for good, to quit all the days onwards. But if you make today, basically the key to being sober from anything is you have to go through day one. Like, that is your ultimate objective. That's your number one objective. Like I said a million times before, day one is the hardest day of all the days. Day two is 50 times easier than day one. It's 50% easier than day one. Day three is 50% easier than day two. Day four is 50% easier than day three, and onwards to the point where it's 1% effort that you need. And then eventually it's all automatic and you don't even think about it. Like, I remember, you probably heard me say this a group of times, but I remember I bumped into someone. He was like, "Hey, what's up, dude? You still smoke weed?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't smoke weed anymore." And at that time, I'd been sober for a few years, and I told him how many years it's been, and he was like, "Wow, what the heck?" And he was like, "You must be trying so hard to be sober." And I never really thought about it. I was like, "Actually, I'm not trying at all. I did try for the beginning, but after a while, it just was all automatic. I don't even think about it. It's like I never even smoked weed to begin with." Anyway, so one day at a time. Um, just focus on today. Also, like I was watching, I think it was like NFL, some show on HBO where they follow an NFL team every season. It was the one where they're following the Cincinnati Bengals, and one of the coaches on the team was telling one of his players, he was like, "Oh my gosh, you are so gifted, you're so good." He's like, "Let me tell you my advice." And this coach used to play in the NFL. He was saying, "My best advice to you is to keep it simple in your head. When you make it complicated, it's too hard to see and it's too hard to know where to focus and to apply your efforts. But make it as simple as you can in your head. That way you can execute supremely well." So, like, in other words, like, let's say if you had a to-do list and like picture like a whiteboard, like a chalkboard but the marker board version. Picture a marker board that looks really messy with like 10 things on that list, right? And you got to do all 10 things today. That's like kind of even confusing just to look at, but one sure way to do everything supremely well is to just write one thing at a time on there. Like, instead of, let's say on your to-do list the very first thing says, I don't know, do 200 push-ups, and that's your first thing on your list. Then just keep it simple and write do 200 push-ups. It takes up the whole marker board. It's the only thing written on that marker board. Of course you could do it, right? It's really simple, right? You're like, damn, like, I know what I got to do. I got to do 200 push-ups. That's my objective. You don't go do anything else. Don't pick up the phone. Don't go watch TV until you do the 200 push-ups. So just keep it simple. The more simple you can make things, the easier you can perform them. So that's advice from an NFL coach who used to play in NFL. So basically, that's champion advice, man. That's like when people go up on stage and speak, motivational speakers and all that stuff, and not just motivational speakers, but people that talk about advice for like, I don't know, character development and stuff. You always see they're always using athletes as reference because like, I don't know, dude. They're ideal. They're like the go-to thing to to dissect and what success is and what it means and how to be successful, because they're physically, literally, obviously successful. There's probably like millions of people that play football, but only like a small percentage actually make it to the NFL, you know? So the things that they do are like, you know, it's really good to study, and I guess anyway, not making that complicated, all you got to know is keep it simple. The simpler you keep it, the better you can perform. And that's good advice for all kinds of stuff. Business, you know, working out, athletic stuff, if you want to quit drugs. So instead of thinking about the whole freaking thing, the whole spectrum of actually quitting weed, and like especially if you haven't even brought yourself to think about going through day one, then that means you're not looking at it simply. You're like making it really complicated. Oh man, I'm gonna quit on a Monday. Today's what? Today's Wednesday. That means I got whatever, you know, 5 more days till then. So I'm gonna screw all that. Just be like, I'll make it simple. For the next 24 hours, I will not smoke weed. And if you have any ounce of self confidence, you know you can do that, man. Everybody can do that. It's so simple. Matter of fact, to not smoke weed is even easier than it is to smoke weed. Like to smoke weed, what do you gotta do? You gotta freaking scrounge up some money, gotta call the person to get it, or at least gotta get in your car and drive and go get it. You gotta call up a friend to smoke it with. You gotta roll it. You gotta do all this crap just to make that happen. But not to do it, you just sit around and do nothing, or you do something else. Okay, like you could sleep all day, and you would have achieved your objective. So honestly, make it that simple for yourself. Like I said, the key to being drug free, the key to being free from weed, the key to being yourself, to become yourself again, someone that you might have never met the adult version of yourself. Like most people started when they were young, when they were actually like teens and stuff. If you become sober as an adult, it'll be the very first time you've ever been yourself as an adult. For real, dude. And of course, life is like a million times different as an adult than it was when you were 12, 13, 14, 15, right? It's really important. It's super fun and exciting. I guarantee you, look at all the comments and look what people say. I mean, if you could only see the emails I get all capital letter emails every single day, people thanking me from the bottom of their heart, people telling me how much better they feel and what a big difference it is to be sober than it is to be high. They had no idea what it, like even as I describe it, even that doesn't do it justice. Like no one could ever describe it. It's awesome. You know, probably it's awesome, bro. Like so I totally recommend it. Just make it super duper simple in your head. Just be like, all right, my goal, my objective is from now and the time I go to bed to not smoke weed at all. And tomorrow, when you wake up and you're successful, and that was a victory, and you actually achieve that goal, you will have an Einstein light bulb moment. Oh my gosh, I got it. I got it. I finally did something I never did before. And you know 100% guarantee you got this. You got it. All you gotta do is do it again, you know? If you ever go to an AA meeting or MA, which is Marijuana Anonymous meeting, or NA, Narcotic Anonymous meeting, they have every drug there is meetings. They all say one day at a time, one day at a time. I can't believe I didn't think to tell you guys that. Yeah, one day at a time, guys. Just think about today. If you just think about today, like I said, after like 14, even a psychologist told me it takes 14 days to build a habit. After like 14 days, you don't even have to think about it. It's just all automatic, for real. Go ahead and try it, okay? Like, bring yourself to try it. If you don't quit today, you will never quit. If you don't bring yourself to do something about it today, you'll never do anything about it. But you know what? There's something different about you than everybody else. Because you even searched up how to quit smoking weed online, there's something that is much better about you than everybody else that does weed. You are not put on this earth to just get high. You're meant for greater things and you know it. Okay? You're of a better quality. Now bring yourself to live up to your potential. I hope you do it.